Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and we have a very intriguing fight tomorrow night in the UK between two fighters from the UK. I call this. You can call this a passing of the torch kind of fight because you got the experienced veteran in Dilian Whyte, 37 years old, who's been around. He's been around the block for some time, 31-3 with 21 knockouts. Who's been in there with a who's who in the sport of boxing in the heavyweight division, from Derek Chisora, who he defeated twice. He also defeated Joseph Parker, who's one of the best heavyweights right now, with one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. And you got Alexander Povetkin, who they fought twice, and in the rematch, Dillian White won by knockout. And he also fought Anthony Joshua. Joshua won that fight by stoppage. But at the end of the day, Dillian White has a lot of experience coming into this fight, taking on Moses Itauma, who is, in my opinion, one of the best up-and-coming heavyweights on the rise to stardom that I've seen in quite some time. Very exciting talent. Very exciting young man who brings excitement. And based on what I've been seeing, he's been turning in Mike Tyson-like knockouts. And that's what fans want to see, especially in the heavyweight division. Knockouts. And Moses brings that. And the question is, because this is obviously his best opponent in Dillian White and most experienced, will we see and continue to see that from Moses? If Moses can go in there and spark out Dillian White like how he's been doing with his previous opponents, which is no one's, and like how you guys want to call it, taxi drivers or whatever, then that's a statement. You know, because by doing so, Moses will knock out a highly top-ranked heavyweight. He's not Dillian White. You can't really call him an elite heavyweight, but he's as solid and real as it gets. Like I said, he's been in there with top heavyweights. Joshua Parker. He's won some, lost some. Knocked out Derek Chisora. So Dillian White has a lot of experience coming into this fight, and even though he's 37, you know, he looks in great shape. He's coming in on a 4-fight win streak since his last defeat, and so he's coming in with momentum. Now Moses undefeated, 12-0, 10 knockouts, and like I said, very exciting fighter. Explosive, dynamite in both hands, Mike Tyson-like knockouts, and I want to believe I'm going to continue to see those Mike Tyson-like knockouts tomorrow night against Dillian White. That will be a statement. But I won't be surprised if Dillian White gives him some rounds, gives him some trouble, because Dillian White can fight, obviously. He's proven that. He can knock you out with one good shot. He's proven that. And at 37 years old, yeah, 37, you know, over his prime, but he's coming in with a 4-fight win streak. And he has that experience on his side. Now, will Dillian White be the fighter to put Moses Itauma in uncomfortable situations where things aren't going Moses' way? That remains to be seen. I don't expect it for it to be Dillian White. Who knows? Maybe he might surprise me. You know, in boxing, anything can happen, especially in the heavyweight division. One punch can change a fight. But Moses has what it takes to change the fight on any given moment. You know, regardless of the experience Dillian White has, the reality is that when Moses connects, and he will land, Dillian White will be in a lot of trouble. Even though with the experience and the veteran that he is, Moses is only freaking 20 years old. This man ain't even in prime yet. And he's knocking out guys like Mike Tyson. So, if, like I said, man, if Moses can go in there and knock Dillian White spark out, like how he's been doing so far in his career, that's a statement. That's impressive. And what a way to introduce yourself to contender status in the heavyweight division. Because beating Dillian White will put him in there as a contender. With only, he's 12-0, so beating Dillian White making 13 with only 13 fights. So, very impressive, man. If you can go in there and knock out Dillian White, beat him impressively. Now, if Dillian White can somehow manage to upset Moses, I would like to call it an upset, but I won't because of how much experience Dillian White has. You know, he's not really a journeyman. He only has 3 losses. It's not really an upset because Dillian White will defeat young up-and-coming heavyweight that's well, Dillian White with the experience he has, I won't be. You cannot call it an upset. You know, you cannot really call it an upset. Like I said, he's not a journeyman. Yes, he's 37, but he's coming in on a 4-fight win streak. He's been in there with some of the top heavyweights. He's won some, lost some. Yes, you can say he's seen better days, but some would say if Dillian wants to beat Moses, Moses wasn't ready. That's what's going to happen. Moses is going to hear it. They're going to give it to him. He wasn't ready. But this is Moses Itauma time to prove that and show boxing fans that he was ready. That he is ready and he was ready. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. This video may not age well or it may age well for one of these fighters. You know, Moses likely has a chance to knock Dillian White out, and Dillian White is boxing. You know, with the experience he has a chance to win this fight as well. So, like I said, this video may not age well and may age well. We'll see what happens. But it's an intriguing fight in the heavyweight division. You know, you got experience versus youth. Let's see what Moses can do with an experienced fighter in Dillian White. You know, let's see what happens with that. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Who do you guys got winning? Should be an intriguing fight tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Austin Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.